Hey guys, Martin here. This We're Still Here for this week is going to be less about depression and more just an update based on what I was talking about last week when I was talking about contacting my family, specifically my parents, and telling them, what was going on with me. So this one isn't so much about just depression and how to cope with it in general and how I cope with it. I guess it is a little bit more about that, but it's not going to be super helpful to somebody who isn't in my specific situation, so I do apologize. But there are going to be some, entries in this series where I need to talk about stuff that's going on with me more than I need to talk about just the idea of depression in general. So that's what this is. I didn't end up calling them. I didn't end up contacting my family. Funnily enough, the same day that the We're Still Here came out last week, my sister contacted me, and we had a long emotional conversation about just how we're doing and the fact that we really haven't been in communication for a long time. In fact, our whole life we haven't really been that close. I mean, we didn't talk about that, but that's a fact. That's part of my relationship with my sister. And we just got to talking, and I talked about wanting to let my parents know about all of this, and the fact that I'm having these feelings and going through this rough patch that is a big rough patch. And she was very understanding, and she told me that my parents actually do keep up to date with a lot of my social media, and I assume these videos. So they are completely aware of what I'm going through. Thanks to doing We're Still Here, I do still want to contact them, but I had a long chat with my therapist where I mentioned toward the end of the session that I did want to go out of my way and call them at some point, and he said, "What would you? Why? What is the reasoning behind that?" And when it came right down to it, I guess I felt like I was hiding something from them, but that's not true. That not everybody talks to their parents about the fact that they're feeling not even just under the weather, but depressed or suicidal or anything like that. Like, your life at some point becomes your own, I guess, and there are these problems that would just cause others extra stress if they knew all the juicy details about them. So the fact that my parents are aware of the fact that I'm going through something is probably not that all they need to know, but all they should know at the end of the day, because if I were to tell them every time I had a panic attack, that would probably make them feel considerably worse, given that they can't do anything about it. I do still intend to get in touch with them. It's just, it was a lot harder for me having had the two conversations that I had with my sister and my therapist. Not that they were negative conversations, they just were conversations that led me to the conclusion that if I were to call, it wouldn't help anything. And at the end of the day, this is something I have to deal with, and I'm not dealing with it alone. I have my wife, I have my therapist, I have my doctors, I have my friends. It's not like everybody in my life needs to know about this. And honestly, if I were to tell literally everybody, I would just make everybody miserable too and stressed out. So I feel like it's not something that I have to do, and I don't think I even really want to do it now. Not because I want to keep my family in the dark, but because I don't want I don't want to put a downer on everything. I don't want them to feel, like they ultimately, I don't want them to feel helpless, and I don't want them to feel sad just because I'm feeling sad. I want them to be happy with the things that I have accomplished, and I have accomplished a lot since moving. I have, I've been, I've done a lot of things. I've gotten a lot of great work, and I'm happy, which is a weird thing to say when I'm making a series about depression, but I am happy. There are days when I don't feel happy, but I am in a good place, and I am surrounded by good things. It's just hard to see them sometimes. Depression, disguises it as something negative, and it disguises it as something that makes you want to not have it anymore. But I do have a good life here, and I do have great friends, and I do have a lot of positives in my life. if here's something that's related to general depression, I sometimes go through an entire day feeling great, and then one thing will happen toward the end of the day, and the whole thing will feel like it was just a waste of time, and that, feeling good was a lie. But depression is the lie. Depression is the lie, because depression tells you you can't win, just give up, all of this is meaningless. But you can win, you can't give up, there's no point, it doesn't fix anything, it makes things worse. And there are good things in your life, that there are, that they may seem insignificant, but there is good in your life and in the world. If you're able to feel positive for even one moment in the day, it is worth getting through the rest of the crap that you're dealing with to get to that one positive moment. The dog's trying to get in the room right now. I apologize if you can hear thumping. But yeah, I don't have somebody trapped in the closet, tied up or anything like that. It's just the dog pounding on the door because she wants to play. But I just wanted to let you guys know, because obviously if I just sort of moved on and talked about something completely different, you'd be like, well, what happened with your family, But ultimately, I had a good chat with my sister. I'm going to have a lot more good chats with my sister in the future, not just when I'm feeling down. I'm going to try and stay in touch with her. And I haven't talked to my parents. I'm going to talk to them, but not about the stuff that I wanted to talk about last week, because I feel like that was desperation more than anything. That wasn't something that will actually help. What will help is if, when I see them, because I'm going to England in June, I am in a positive place, and I don't drag them down with me, And I don't think they would feel like I was doing that, but I would feel like I was doing that. And I want to aim for the positive and not the negative. That's what I'm trying to do a lot more recently. Aside from that, nothing really to report. I'm feeling pretty chipper today. It's the weekend, and I actually got to enjoy it like it was the weekend. A lot of these times I get behind on work and I have to work through the entire thing, and this weekend I actually got to just have 2 days off, which was nice, which was really nice. It was great, actually. And I don't say a lot of these positive words in these videos very often. I often cry, I won't lie, I often cry and I sit here feeling awful, but today I'm feeling good, and it's not going to go away anytime soon, I hope. So if you are listening, mother and father, I love you, and I think about you every day, and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right, and I'll see you in June. And I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks for joining me, and you take care of yourselves, okay?